world isn't always what it seems. The interrupted portal. A CCTV recording revealed something unbelievable: the possibility that humans with superpowers might be living among us. In the middle of a quiet street, a man appeared doing something strange. At first, it looked like trash or burning wood near him, but soon it became clear it was something far more unusual. The man seemed to be trying to open a portal to another world. The bright light grew larger and brighter, illuminating everything around it, until it suddenly began to fade and disappeared. The portal simply didn't open, as if being filmed had interrupted the process. Live dimensional entry. Reporters look for big stories, but sometimes the story happens right in front of them. This journalist was covering a local event when a man simply appeared out of nowhere. The camera captured the exact moment he stepped through something like an invisible door that opened and closed in an instant. The reporter noticed nothing as she spoke, but the video clearly showed the impossible. After watching it later, people concluded that beings from other dimensions might already be here among us, blending in perfectly, maybe always, moving through our world without anyone noticing. Neighbor or shapeshifter. A man made a shocking discovery while reviewing footage from his security camera. At first, it seemed like just an animal walking down the street, but in one quick, impossible moment, the animal transformed into his neighbor, who continued walking casually and went inside his house as if it were the most normal thing in the world. There was no editing, no glitch, nothing suggesting a trick. Every movement was clear and real. The man realized he might be living next to a shapeshifter. Myths that once sounded like fantasy suddenly began to make sense. Sometimes the people around us might be hiding something far stranger than we imagine. Disappearances at the airport. Videos from an airport showed completely unbelievable events. While passengers waited in line, a man was relaxing in his apartment when something strange caught his attention. On the street, another guy looked like he was fighting, but there was absolutely no one with him. He threw punches and moved as if facing something invisible. Then he even began talking to his opponent. Some said it was a psychological episode. Others believed he was seeing something normal human eyes cannot. Whatever the truth, the scene gave everyone chills. Group of souls. On July 16, 2025, a video surfaced that seemed to capture more than just a man's body. In the recording, he was calmly drinking water, but as he moved, something bizarre appeared. A ghostly silhouette followed him, then another, and another. It looked like several spiritual versions of himself were walking beside him. Many believed the video recorded spirits or layers of his own soul. For many, it was proof that the camera captured more than one world at the same moment. Telekinesis at the bus station. Cameras at a bus terminal existed for security, not to record something beyond normal. One day, an elderly man wearing a mask stood quietly at the stop. He raised a single finger toward a shopping cart, and without touching it, the cart began to move as if obeying his command. The security video spread across the internet. Many believed he demonstrated telekinesis, the power to move objects with the mind, while others were shocked, calling him a man with superhuman abilities. If true, people with secret powers might be living among us without the world noticing. The disappearing cyclist. In 2025, a strange video recorded in Brazil made many think twice about biking alone at night. A security camera captured a woman riding her bicycle when suddenly she and the bike were lifted into the air as if pulled by an invisible force. The bicycle dropped back to the ground, but the woman had vanished. Many locals believed it was a real alien abduction, while others thought it was a hungry spirit roaming the streets took her. Maybe she wasn't the first, and maybe she won't be the last taken by what can't be seen. Possessed strength. Have you ever seen someone act like they suddenly became a completely different person? That's exactly what a Moscow subway camera recorded. A woman walked calmly toward the turnstiles when out of nowhere she stopped and delivered a violent kick to the thick glass barrier. The glass shattered instantly. That wasn't normal human strength. It looked like she wasn't in control of herself, as if an invisible spirit had taken over her body just to spread fear. Maybe that force was only passing through, but it showed that the invisible sometimes uses people to reveal its presence. The man walking on air. Imagine seeing someone walking but their feet don't touch the ground. That's what a resident in China witnessed. A man was walking along a busy street when he suddenly stayed suspended in the air. His legs kept moving as if he were walking, but he remained floating for a few seconds. Then he fell back to the ground and continued walking, completely confused. Investigation in an old house in Pakistan quickly became something much darker. The ghost hunters set up cameras along a narrow hallway. Near midnight, one of them recorded a pale figure crawling on the floor. It stared directly into the lens, as if it knew it was being watched. That look wasn't just a threat, it was a warning. In haunted places, it's best not to disturb what you see, because if these spirits ever reach you, they might never leave. If this story gave you chills, leave a like because it helps the channel grow and motivates me to bring more videos with events that defy all logic. The footage shows a humanoid figure walking back and forth in the forest. The man was shocked, not understanding who or what it was, since the woods are far from civilization, and no one should be there, especially at night. The figure looks very strange, an unusual humanoid shape. He believes it might be real evidence. Could it be a skinwalker? What do you think? A similar but even scarier case. A mother was with her 3 daughters in their countryside home and decided to take a picture of them. But something appeared that shouldn't have. Pay attention. She was at her home in Oregon and took the photo, but it showed a 4th girl, a tall girl with a strange appearance. She wasn't there that day. Only the 3 daughters were present. Zooming in, we can see a girl smiling, staring directly at the camera. The mother was shocked, believing it was a dark presence manifesting in the photo. Another video recorded in a hotel. A receptionist shared footage from surveillance cameras that showed a shadowy figure walking down the hallway. Pay attention. In the footage, we see a white shadow moving from side to side. And that's not all. When the shadow passes, an object falls to the floor, startling the employee and making her believe that it was not a glitch or illusion, but something supernatural haunting the building. A video recorded in a hotel hallway shows what appears to be an apparition of a ghost. The footage shows a white figure walking down the hallway. The question is, was it a ghost or something that simply passed in front of the camera lens? A strange video recorded at night by a home security camera shows two apparitions walking in the street. Pay attention to the evidence. What do you think? The footage shows two dark figures passing very quickly from one side to the other, figures that look like young people. Some say they were spirits, others say ghosts, and some believe they were simply real teenagers walking. But what were children doing alone in the street in the middle of the night? Whatever it was, it's a curious piece of evidence. Now look at this video, recorded in a cemetery. I don't have much information, but it shows something very strange and terrifying. Something appears to be digging inside one of the graves. Pay attention to the evidence. In the footage, we can see something or someone digging at a grave. What was it? From a distance, we see dirt being thrown upward. Some believe it was just an animal, like a dog. Others say it was an unknown creature or something supernatural. And you, what do you think was digging that grave?
जब वही तो वाकई साथ साथ चल रहा है ना।
मैंने कहा था जब तक तेरी डर नहीं उतरती। डर तो है ही, मगर तुझे देख के अजीब सा सुकून भी है। इंसान के दिल में दो बातें साथ रहती हैं।
यार यकीन नहीं आ रहा मैं किसके साथ चल रहा हूँ। भाई कैमरे में आ रहे हो, सब डर जाएंगे देख के।
इन्हें देखने दो, अंधेरी सड़क महफूज रहेगी।
वाह, आपकी आवाज ही काफी है डर के लिए।
खौफ से ही।
Kitchen surveillance footage in a restaurant captured what might be paranormal activity. Did you see it? First, a container moves, but the woman doesn't notice. Then the kitchen tongs fall loudly onto the floor, startling her. Reviewing the footage later, she became convinced it was something paranormal. What was that? We can see something in the water, something following them. Because of the video quality, we can't tell clearly if it was an unknown creature. What was that presence trailing them? To this day, the footage remains a mystery. What do you think appeared in the water? recording went viral on TikTok, showing CCTV footage inside a house that appeared to show a child being pulled by a supernatural entity. The family is heard panicking, unsure of what is happening. From this incident, you can draw your own conclusion. Was the child truly pulled by an unseen force, or was there another cause? How do you see it? Look closely at the evidence. Late at night, a married couple was driving on a road in the city of Kirov, Russia. They were startled when they saw something strange standing in the middle of the road, clearly captured by their dashboard camera. A man was standing on the road. They said the incident was completely abnormal. How could someone stand alone in the middle of a road without fear of danger? The figure did not move at all, even when the car almost hit him. What makes the video even stranger is that there were no houses or settlements anywhere near the location. They began to believe that the figure might not have been a human. Nobody knows where it came from. It suddenly appeared standing in the road. Hey. Before we continue, if you like videos about real-life stories, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications so we can deliver more exciting videos. A man who claimed to live alone in his house experienced a terrifying event. The house lights suddenly went out, even though there was no wind or rain. When he panicked and went inside, this is what he saw. As we can see, there was a horrifying figure visible through the window, as if watching him. Whether he actually saw it or not is unclear, but the video shows the man's fear. Video. According to the original source, a woman lost her daughter in a tragic accident. Days later, one night, her home security camera recorded what appeared to be her daughter visiting her. In the footage, a young girl walks through a door, and what you're seeing is not a curtain. According to the woman, it is a metal door that the girl would have passed through. Even more unsettling is the scream of the girl's mother, crying out in shock upon seeing her daughter. Now, I don't know if this is real or a made-up story, but the footage is very impressive. A young woman posted a video on her TikTok, showing herself dancing, but behind her appeared something that should not have been there. A figure she believes to be a supernatural apparition. Pay attention, close attention. Did you see something? Look again, behind the washing machine. You can see a face, part of a head and hair, that appears briefly and then hides again, as if watching the young woman dance. She said she was completely alone at home, and it would be impossible for anyone to be standing behind her. So who or what was that? Pay attention. In the footage, we can see a man lighting a candle. He begins saying some words when suddenly, in the darkness, a being appears. A dark creature. Now, is it a real entity? Just a staged video, a hoax? That is for you to decide. A young man from Santa Fe, Argentina woke up in the middle of the night to strange noises coming from outside his house. When he looked through the window, he saw a scene that left him completely terrified. He couldn't explain what it was. It was too big to be just a dog, and its arms were elongated and its shape totally unlike any known animal. So what was it? The young man says the creature stayed still for a few minutes. Then, when he left and came back, the figure had disappeared. A man walking near a cemetery came across something very strange. Between two tombs, fire was coming out. This caught his attention and he quickly grabbed his phone to record a video. Some say it could be a gas leak, but a gas leak in a cemetery, a place where digging is common, shouldn't have gas pipelines running through it. So what happened here? Why was this fire coming out? This happened at a funeral where you can see candles on the floor going out completely by themselves. Now, was this real footage or some manipulated video? Many believe it may have been the presence of the deceased manifesting at their own funeral. But was it really? This next video is quite strange. It appears to be a video created by AI, artificial intelligence, in which a man appears rising in the middle of a funeral, leaving people completely shocked. As I said, it looks much more like an AI-generated video, which has been going viral on social media, but it has been scaring many people who believe it to be real. This video was recorded inside a church where we can see a man who seems to be destroying an altar when suddenly something very sinister happens to him. Pay attention. In the footage, we can see a man who appears to be destroying the altar when suddenly he starts acting in a very strange way. Suddenly, he falls to the ground and begins screaming. Now, what happened here? What happened to this man? Is it a real video? A created one? I don't have much information about this video, only the images shared on the internet. Many say it was punishment from the Holy Spirit. Others say it's fake. And you, what do you think? I want your opinion in the comments. There is someone else in the room, a presence. So the mother points the camera toward the corner where the boy is talking about, and we can hear a noise that scares him even more. And when the mother points the camera toward the direction the boy was talking about, it's possible to see something very strange. A figure appears on the wall. Out of nowhere, something shows up on that wall and then quickly disappears. And that's when the boy said he saw that figure and became even more frightened. The mother has no idea what her son saw that night, and as we can see, she didn't notice that presence on the wall at the time, only later when she reviewed the recording. The question is her son seeing something? Is he being tormented by an entity in their house? Whatever it is, something appeared that night. This next video was shared by a father who one day went with his kids into a forest. He took them there to have some fun. But something sinister happened. Something tried to grab his daughter. Something many believe to be a witch. Pay attention.
Get up here, Carly. What the hell was that?
On October 27th, a very circulated news story came out in Mexico, in Nuevo León. Several sightings of a sphere, a fireball, were recorded in various places around the city. in ranches, forests, on top of houses. And according to legend in Mexico, these fireballs are one of the forms witches can take. Pay attention. A person was also recorded at night walking around completely hooded. Why would he be doing this? Placing these objects at the bus stops? Would it be some kind of ritual? This is terrifying the residents who wonder if it truly is a ritual. And for what purpose? What do you think? Now imagine waking up in the morning, going to the bus stop to catch the bus to work, and running into several objects placed at the bus stop. What seems to be some kind of ritual is what the residents of a neighborhood in Jardim Tiradentes, Brazil, are reporting that someone is doing this at the bus stops, but the reason remains unknown.
Puta madre, Rafael, mejor vámonos, güey.
Ese grito ya está mortal.
Ay, mi madre se maestra, güey.
In the middle of the night, they began hearing crying, as if a woman were crying. But no matter where they searched, they found nothing. Pay attention. The employees were completely confused, unable to understand where the crying was coming from. They searched the whole place and couldn't find any woman crying. They immediately connected it to a very well-known legend in Mexico, La Llorona. They believe it might have been the spirit of this entity manifesting that night. Oh my gosh, do you see that? An American woman experienced a frightening moment inside her home. One day, she was going up the stairs when she looked at the window and saw something very strange, something that shocked her. She immediately grabbed her phone and recorded it. Pay attention.
So she's back. The last time I made this video, people were saying that it's my double reflection. But I'm just gonna put up my hand here. Yeah, the sage has worn off.
Through the glass, you can see a woman standing behind her. She couldn't believe her eyes, so she recorded the moment and shared it online. And to prove it wasn't her reflection, she raised her hand and the figure behind her didn't move at all. Many say the figure looks very much like her and that it might be an entity that took her form. Others believe the video is manipulated or that the figure is just a mannequin. But what do you think? What's your opinion about this case? As always, you have the final word on this channel.
So she's back. The last time I made this video, people were saying that it's my double reflection. But I'm just gonna put up my hand here. Yeah, the sage has worn off. Ending the speculation, this is me. There is no double reflection. This is the same window. No, my window does not have double reflection. Yes, it's double glazed, but you can see this is me. There's no unique connect, but yeah, this is me. It does not reflect doubly, it just reflects straight for me. Yeah. So you can see this is me, and that's a glass, and you can see that there's a shadow of a person. But there's definitely there's no way there could be someone standing there. It looks like me. Shona has actually asked me to use some sage to cleanse the house, and I think this is how you do it. Like, you just take like a piece of sage and like cleanse the house like this here. But I don't know if you're meant to like recite anything or anything like that, but this, like, I've got a piece of sage and this I'm trying to cleanse. So she's back. The last time I made this video, people were saying that it's my double reflection. But I'm just gonna put up my hand here. Yeah, the sage has worn off.
One night, a young woman was in the hospital and recorded something very strange happening with a toy. She quickly grabbed her phone and filmed it. Pay attention to the evidence.
¿Quién será que se hamaca, no? Están jugando.
The toy was moving up and down as if someone were playing with it, but as we can see in the recording, there was no one there. The toy area was completely empty. So what happened here? Was it a paranormal phenomenon or a manipulated video? You decide. Another recording made in the same hospital, now shared by a young woman who works there, shows how one night she was walking through the corridor and came across something that left her completely shocked. Pay close attention. She saw a balloon floating through the hallway as if something invisible were pulling it along. She shared the video on her social media, and many believe it might have been the spirit of a young patient who once held that balloon, perhaps a spirit of someone who passed away in that same hospital. This next video was shared by a woman who was in the hospital. She was sitting at the door of an empty room. Suddenly, the protective rail of the bed began shaking on its own. Pay attention. The woman was completely shocked because there was no wind or anything that could have made it move. Many claim that in the recording you can see something else. Some say there is a figure under the bed. But what about you? Did you see anything strange? Was there something under the bed? It's a very interesting recording. Do you believe life exists on other planets? These videos are circulating online and claim to show extraterrestrial beings that were caught on camera.
You still on it?
Yeah, I'm zoomed all the way. Hold on.
It's looking right at us.
No, just stay quiet.
Jesus.
It's moving again. I'm trying to keep it in frame.
Okay, let's go into the field. You still on it?
Yeah, I'm zoomed all the way. Hold on.
It's looking right at us.
No, just stay quiet.
Jesus.
It's moving again. I'm trying to keep it in frame.
Okay, let's go into the field.
You got it?
I'm
Keep it
trying.
steady.
It's moving right toward the barn.
God, look at that's not a costume.
Wait, it heard something.
Oh my, it's looking right at us.
Keep rolling. Don't move.
You got it?
I'm
Keep
trying.
it steady.
It's moving right toward the barn.
God, look at that's not a costume.
Wait, it heard something.
Oh my, it's looking right at us.
Keep rolling. Don't.
The following case happened to a nurse who experienced something terrifying. It was night and she was on her shift walking through the hospital corridors. She stopped and rested her head against the wall. And at that moment, something unexplainable happened. Pay attention. She says she was exhausted, which is why she leaned her head against the wall, something she always does. But this time, the light began flickering on and off by itself. It left her completely shocked, not knowing what was happening. Was it just an electrical failure or some kind of paranormal manifestation? The next case was recorded by a hospital security guard. In the middle of the night, a door began moving on its own. He grabbed his phone and recorded the video. Pay attention to the evidence. As the guard says, those doors are very heavy for the wind to open like that. He says it would be impossible that it wasn't the wind. So who was opening and closing that door? And you can also hear strange sounds as if many people were talking in the background. The guard believes the hospital is haunted.
Dia kata keluar sendiri. Baik kalau masuk saudara.
In the footage, we can see a very strange scene. Out of nowhere, the cart begins moving apparently by itself. The most bizarre thing is that it doesn't move in just one direction. It turns and changes direction as if something invisible were controlling it. But as the footage shows, no one was there. If it were just the floor or the wind, it wouldn't move like that. So what happened? Was it a paranormal activity? A woman who works at a meat processing facility in Mexico shared a video recorded by surveillance cameras. One night, everything was normal until something happened that left all the workers shocked. Look closely at the corner of the video. Pay attention. How did this happen? That door lifted by itself with force, as if something hit it from the other side. But there was nothing on the other side that could have lifted it like that. Also, it's a sliding door, meant to move sideways, not upward. This terrified all the workers, and the door is very heavy. So what happened here? How did the door rise like that? It looks like a supernatural force pushed it with great strength, because that seems like the only explanation for what happened that night. But what do you think? Something supernatural? That's for you to decide. This recording was shared by a young man from Indonesia. He was sitting in a store when something very strange happened, and everything was captured by the surveillance cameras. A chair behind him moved apparently on its own. Pay attention to the evidence. In the footage, we can see the young man sitting and using his phone. Everything seems normal until he hears a noise. He immediately looks behind him and sees that a chair moved. He quickly gets up and runs out. Later, when he watched the footage, he saw that something really pulled the chair. But who if he was alone in the store at that moment? It's a very creepy and frightening video, but I want to know your opinion in the comments. As always, you have the final say. What happened here? Something staged, something manipulated, or a paranormal activity? You decide.
Take this. Dude, he might be up or something. No, bro.
Have you seen this video that's being shared on the internet, leaving many people stunned? In it, we see a person driving on a deserted road when they come across what appears to be an offering for some deity.
Tem vela e frango inteiro. Tem cachorro comendo. Tá esquisito, olha o olho dele. Isso não é cachorro, não. Ele tá rosnando pra gente. Vou acelerar. Vai, vai. Meu Deus, ele tá correndo chute. Macumba. Tem vela e frango inteiro. Tem cachorro comendo. Tá esquisito, olha o olho dele. Isso não é cachorro, não. Ele tá rosnando pra gente. Vou acelerar. Vai, vai. Meu Deus, ele tá correndo chute.
And on this offering, there's an animal that looks like a dog or a wolf. However, its appearance is sinister, red eyes, and it seems to come toward the car. Many believe it might be the entity itself present at that moment eating its own offering. Others think the video is fake, possibly created with artificial intelligence. But what do you think? Today, it's difficult to know whether a video is real or fake with the advancement of AI. It's important to note that I only share content that goes viral on the internet related to mystery and the paranormal. Whether it's true or fake, that's for you to decide. I want to know your opinion in the comments. As always, you have the final say. What happened here? Something staged, something manipulated, or a paranormal activity? You decide. A woman arrived home late at night, and when she opened the door, she heard footsteps coming from outside. The sound had a strange, slow, unnatural rhythm, as if something were imitating human walking without understanding how to do it. Intrigued and uncomfortable, she turned on her camera and recorded a humanoid figure emerging from the darkness. The creature walked with twisted feet, moving in a way that defied all logic. Suddenly, a piercing scream broke through the night. Before she could react, the figure disappeared, only to reappear right in front of her in the blink of an eye. The video ends abruptly, leaving the outcome shrouded in uncertainty. The only certainty was that some encounters should never be recorded. A girl reported a disturbing encounter while she was returning home. On the side of the road, next to her car, a completely unusual humanoid figure appeared, standing still as if it were simply waiting for something. It had extremely long arms and legs and held its body supported on all four limbs, resembling a predator crouched in the dark. The creature showed no fear, reaction, or any sign of normal life. It remained motionless and silent, observing everything around it. This unnatural silence made the scene even more sinister, as if the being were trying to pass itself off as something harmless in order to lure anyone who came close. Overcome with fear, the girl stopped recording when she felt she might be facing something demonic. In just a few moments, a seemingly peaceful road turned into a scene of pure nightmare. Meanwhile, the theme of strange beings gained another layer when a group of friends encountered something completely out of the ordinary. The image of aliens piloting flying saucers seemed outdated. Now, apparently they had traded their spacecraft for ordinary sedans. During a nighttime drive, the friends spotted a blue-skinned being sitting behind the wheel of a car, driving as if it were just another driver. It wasn't fantasy, it wasn't a trick. The scene looked as if it had been ripped from a science fiction movie, but it was right there in front of them. The internet reacted immediately, and for good reason. Some tried to rationalize it, saying it could just be someone in a costume. But the shock in the voices of those who saw it suggested another possibility. Maybe they really were looking at a visitor from another world. In Michigan, a woman was terrified when her security camera recorded movement in her backyard on the night of September 18, 2025. When she watched the footage, she was confronted with something unimaginable: a small, winged humanoid figure crossing the screen with clearly visible legs and strands of hair noticeable in the video. The detailed appearance ruled out the possibility of it being an insect, dust, or a reflection of light. The footage quickly sparked debate. Some believed it looked like a real fairy, while others pointed out similarities to old legends about goblins, small, agile, and dangerous creatures from folklore. Regardless of the interpretation, something clearly out of the ordinary was captured by the cameras that night. In another disturbing case, a driver was driving alone in the early hours of the morning when he was stopped by authorities for undisclosed reasons. His phones were confiscated without explanation, but no one noticed that a hidden camera on his dashboard was still recording. Thanks to it, the public saw a convoy escorting something gigantic on a trailer. On top, perfectly visible, was a flying saucer. The level of security around the transport was absurd, worthy of an ultra-secret project. Whatever the truth behind the operation was, it was clear that someone did not want the world to know what was being moved that night. In another curious recording, a homeowner randomly reviewed the security cameras of his house when he found a frightening video. A pale, gray-skinned figure tried to jump into the residence. Despite its humanoid shape, its movements revealed that it was not a person. The body was extremely thin, with elongated limbs, and its posture resembled descriptions of the creature known as the Rake, a being famous in disturbing internet stories. Suddenly, the figure backed away abruptly, as if it had realized it was being watched. The man was left wondering whether it was just lurking in the area or if it had darker intentions. Whatever it was a scene no one would want to see when checking the cameras of their own home. Another unsettling report involves a driver crossing a bridge late at night. As he drove, his headlights caught something standing near the railing, a pair of legs, alone, without a torso, without a head, completely still. Thinking he was hallucinating from exhaustion, he slowed down, but soon realized what he was seeing was real. The figure remained there, motionless, as if it was waiting for something. The scene was enough for him to turn around and accelerate as fast as he could away from the area. Some say spirits sometimes manifest in fragments, showing only parts of themselves. If that were true, where was the rest of that apparition? In a forest, a hiker came across a bird with a strange appearance. As he got closer to take a better look, the bird suddenly turned towards him, raising its neck in an exaggerated way and staring at him with an almost aggressive expression. The moment was so unexpected that it seemed supernatural. After remaining still for a moment, the bird lowered its neck and calmly walked away among the trees. The hiker had never seen anything like it. When the video went viral, experts explained that it was an American bittern, a bird known for stretching its neck when it feels threatened. This rigid and unusual posture often makes these birds look mysterious when encountered in the wild. Not even large urban centers escaped bizarre appearances. In Shanghai, two people taking selfies downtown caught something when they looked up at the sky. A dark creature that looked like it had come straight out of a science fiction nightmare. A winged figure hovered above them with a tail twisting in impossible directions and a completely strange body. As soon as they realized what was there, they ran and started recording. Many compared the being to the Zerg from StarCraft, alien creatures known for their rapid reproduction and relentless adaptation. But this wasn't a video game, it was something real and unexplained. Theories ranged from an optical illusion to an experimental drone or an atmospheric phenomenon, but no explanation seemed satisfactory. Another equally intriguing episode occurred in New York. During the sunset, a formation of shadows in the clouds caught the attention of people on the streets. The clouds appeared to form humanoid figures, hovering over the Empire State Building, like silhouettes watching over the city. The image was so disturbing that authorities decided to close the building early. Nothing disastrous happened, but the scenes left the population unsettled. Perhaps it was just an unusual atmospheric phenomenon, or perhaps a silent warning of something beyond human understanding. What if the jungle hid more than just ordinary animals? In a remote part of the forest, a camera recorded something truly unusual. A creature with a snake-like body and an upper half resembling a goblin resting calmly on the ground. As the images spread across the internet, opinions were divided. Some saw it as a being from the world of legends, while others suspected something far more sinister. The footage remained an enigma that no one seemed to be willing to unravel. The city was not prepared for the kind of strangeness that appeared. Security cameras, used to recording small incidents, captured something beyond any explanation in Bogota, Colombia. A woman appeared in the foot cart he had left behind began to move on its own. It didn't just wobble, it rolled its speed directly towards his car, smashing into the vehicle as if it had a purpose. The man stood frozen, unable to decide whether it was an elaborate prank or something far stranger. Many joked that the cart was taking revenge for being abandoned. But after that incident, some people started paying closer attention to stray carts in parking lots. After a flood in Texas, several strange reports started to surface. A man found something in his garage that initially looked like a piece of meat. When he got closer, he realized it was a living mass made up of countless small worms intertwined, forming something like a pulsating block. In Eisenhower State Park, rangers spotted what looked like strands of spaghetti spread across the road. On closer inspection, they discovered hundreds of earthworms perfectly lined up along the pavement. More than 30 piles were spread across the asphalt. Experts believe intense vibrations from the rain may have forced the animals to see. Realized it was a living mass made up of countless small worms intertwined, forming something like a pulsating block. In Eisenhower State Park, rangers spotted what looked like strands of spaghetti spread across the road. On closer inspection, imagine. A streamer from Medellin in Colombia was doing another live broadcast on Twitch, doing what his followers already knew him for, wearing his classic duck mask. However, the routine took a sinister turn the moment he removed a mannequin mask he was using as part of the joke. Sitting in front of the camera, he didn't immediately notice that the mannequin behind him had begun to move slowly. The recording captured everything, including his expression of pure shock when he looked back and saw the rigid figure leaning on its own. The clip spread online and left many viewers just as uncomfortable as the streamer himself. In downtown Austin, Texas, a resident captured a disturbing scene in a parking lot. A crow staggered irregularly as if it were being guided by something invisible. Its feathers were tangled, and one of its eyes seemed to have a white, empty glow. Experts say parasites or infections capable of affecting the brain can completely alter the behavior of birds, making them act as if they no longer had control over themselves. The episode raised troubling questions. What if this type of infection could also affect other species? The video reignited theories about strange forces silently acting in nature. In Portland, Oregon, a man waiting for his order in a small restaurant decided to look through the kitchen window and froze. On the counter was an enormous pale hand, hairless with long claws and an unnaturally large size. The video spread quickly, leading many to speculate that it belonged to the legendary Bigfoot or some as-yet The neck, just a stretch of thin skin pulled over bone, was the detail that most disturbed viewers. With no information about who filmed it or where it was captured, the mystery only grows. Fear is real, and it loves those who seek it. During a routine inspection at a local park, a forest ranger came across an entity so mysterious that it left him completely bewildered. The creature crawled along the ground, but when still, it could easily be. To begin this list, we go straight to El Salvador, specifically to a cemetery in Chalatenango, where content creator Henry Bex was doing a live stream for his TikTok channel. It was the middle of the night. Henry walked forward with his flashlight between tombs and decayed structures, when suddenly his camera captured a sequence so strange that even he froze in place. Pay close attention. What you saw is not just disturbing, but completely real. First, because of the simple presence of a white goat in such an inhospitable, dark setting as an abandoned cemetery. Second, because of what it does. The creature stays upright on two legs for several seconds, and, according to Henry himself, even takes steps as if attempting to dance. It's true that some goats can stand on their hind legs to reach higher leaves, but here, that argument doesn't apply. The goat was beside a small pond in a totally open area, with no trees, no branches, nothing that would justify that posture, let alone such a prolonged and strange movement. And everything happened live. No cuts, no edits, no time to set up a prank or a visual trick to gain followers. What you see is exactly what happened in the moment, and that's precisely why it left so many people unsettled. After all, was this just simple animal behavior, or was there something more in that cemetery? As always, the decision is yours. In this position, we find a disturbing recording captured by a security camera inside a house, a video so direct and unexpected that it can give anyone chills. As you can see in the image, the young woman was completely calm, sitting in the living room, looking at her phone, unaware of what was about to happen moments later. What you just saw is disturbing from any angle. That hand that appears behind the couch does not seem to belong to any person. If you look closely, there are no distinguishable fingers. It has no defined shape. It's like a silhouette that simply touches her hair and then disappears. So who or what touched that young woman's head? The frightening part is that all of us have felt something similar at some point in our lives. A light touch on the arm, a strange feeling on the neck, a small tug on our clothes, and when we turn around, there's no one there. But because we never have proof, we make up logical explanations to calm ourselves. It was the wind. It was just imagination. Maybe I dreamed it. But if we had a camera recording behind us every time, maybe we would find something like this. Something we would never want to see. So next time something like that happens, forget logic immediately and remember this video. This video was recorded by a construction worker. According to him, the man was simply filming the progress of the build. Nothing unusual. But completely by chance, his camera pointed toward a nearby platform and captured something that should never have been there. I'll let the video play. Try to figure out what I mean. It's very obvious and very strange. Did you notice it? Pay close attention. At first sight, you might think it's another worker in the background, or maybe a child. But when the camera moves, it becomes clear that the figure is much closer than it appears. It's standing there on that small platform, motionless, watching. What's most incredible is that if it really were that close, its height would be absurdly small, shorter than a child, with proportions that don't match any human. And its clothing seems completely white, like a tiny robe or tunic. And for a moment, it seems to move its arm as if pointing at something. Some will say it's just an optical illusion. Others might claim it's an object placed in a strange position, creating a misleading image. But what if it were a small entity, perhaps a spiritual being, something we don't understand? As Mr. Danny himself wrote in his email, it could even be an angel. I leave the question to you. What do you think it is? Leave your opinion in the comments. In the next video, a woman walking along a river decided to film some small caves on the opposite side. She was having fun, doing a bit of paragolia, trying to spot faces and strange shapes on the rock formations. But suddenly, her camera begins capturing something unexpected. The case you're about to watch happened in Indonesia. It was recorded by a villager who lives in a rural area far away from civilization. He says that one night, he felt like something was watching him through a crack in his door. So he grabbed his phone, started recording, and captured something very sinister. Stay alert. This video from the Philippines has shocked many people. It's a mysterious recording captured by a street camera. You can see a strange phenomenon that left viewers stunned. A woman in a red jacket seems to defy logic. As she walks, she appears to be headless for a moment. Was it a camera glitch, an optical illusion, or something supernatural? What happened here? But that's not all. Later, watching the footage, he saw what looked like a person sitting on the floor. But who? He lives alone. After investigating, he discovered the apartment used to be a place where witchcraft rituals were performed. So what was that figure? A ghost? A spirit? An entity? What do you think? A group of friends in Indonesia were playing cards outside a house near another house said to be haunted. They were keeping watch until the owners returned. Then one of them saw a strange presence, a face appearing in the supposedly haunted house. He quickly grabbed his phone and recorded. "Stay alert." Did you see it? Among the shadows, a face appears behind a pillar. It looks tall and is staring right at them. Was it created or a real apparition? You decide. This video was shared by a young woman in Argentina. It was nighttime and she was in her room when she noticed her suitcase moving on its own. She immediately grabbed her phone and recorded. Watch. She was completely shocked. There was no explanation for the suitcase to move like that. Now, was it staged or a real paranormal event?